This
California
conference will
Breastfeeding
now be
Coalition.
recorded.
Welcome, Grace.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it looks like Tamika, are you on?
Hi, yes, I'm here. Good morning, good afternoon. Tamika Harris, Breastfeeding USA and DC Breastfeeding Coalition.
Welcome, Tamika. And Tiana, I see that you're on.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tiana Piles. I am one of the co-founders of B-Stars, Breastfeeding Sisters that are receiving support, and the executive director of the Tennessee Breastfeeding Coalition. Good morning.
Great. Good morning. Okay. And any staff that's on that wants to introduce themselves?
Sarah, do you want to go ahead?
Sure, yeah, sorry. I usually go last because I'm always at the end of the alphabet. Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Walls. I am USDC's Communication and Program Coordinator. I've joined, I think, one CBC call before with regard to the conference. My main responsibilities are conference, a bunch of things, but specifically the evening event, which is why I'm here today, and the conference app and other sort of technology-related stuff. So I'm excited to join you again.
Awesome. I can go next. This is Camille Abbey. I'm the events and PR manager. So a lot of things that involve communications and logistics and cross into my world. So things involving hotel registration, food, sleeping, things of all that nature, audiovisual, all that kind of stuff. And so you guys know I'm on the call pretty regularly. Miriam, want to bring us home?
Yeah, hey everyone. This is Miriam, the Coalition Relations Coordinator, and I'm happy to be on the call with you guys.
Awesome. Awesome. So, of course, we want to remind everybody of our community norms. And I'll go through these pretty quickly since, this is not our first rodeo. But everyone participates. Step up, step back, participate fully and evenly. Listen well for deep understanding and respect. Be fully present and open to new learning. Speak your discomforts. Place tech on silent and stay checked in. Share using I statements. And share responsibility for the success of each meeting. As I talk about tech being on silent, mine's going off like crazy. Okay. So I don't know which one of the staff members, since Kinkenny is not on, wants to talk about what we need to do in this update.
Yeah, sure. So today's call, this is Camille. Today's call is really about making sure that everyone kind of knows where we are, what's going on. Is it feeling like they're in a comfortable place to be a mouthpiece to continue to promote the event, as well as having questions answered about whether it's their own logistical questions or where am I supposed to be or what's going on from now until June kind of things. But basically, it is about, laying that groundwork from now until then. And as Sarah mentioned, we wanted to have an opportunity to talk about the game night event and how that is shaping up, as well as give you all updates on, where's registration, what's going on with the hotel, et cetera, et cetera. So that is really what we see as our desired outcomes, because all of you play a role in helping us make this inclusive, welcoming learning space. So want to make sure you feel comfortable.
So I can get going with the planning updates. One of the first updates we wanted to give was CEUs. We are applying for SERPs CEUs through the CDC and CEUs through the dietitian registration. So the ones from the dietitian registration are all set. We submitted that this weekend. CDC is on an ongoing basis. The last due date is May 15th, so we're almost there. We're just getting couple last minute documents together. And the SERPs we are working on that as well. There's one more document that we need, so we're collecting that from all of the speakers, and we should be able to apply for that shortly. And we'll be excited to let you all know when we hear back on the next CPC call, hopefully. The other thing that we wanted to review was the final program. Let me just switch my screen over. So if you all have had a look at this, that would be awesome. If you haven't, this is what our program is looking like. The Wednesday and Thursday are on here as well. But then the start of the conference on Friday, we have the speakers in here. If you wanted to take a look at that, we have our whole group sessions, our concurrent sessions, with all of these titles and presenters and their coalitions, which is great. Here's the side events that we're going to be talking a little bit more about today. And if you can see on Saturday, we have more whole group sessions, more concurrent sessions, and we wrap up. Did anybody have any questions or comments on the program so far?
Hi, this is Stephanie. So I talked to Kinkini yesterday, and we were talking about this inclusive breastfeeding support of partners, spouses, and family voices in breastfeeding support. And Kinkini and I talked about I'm actually being added to that group so that we have somebody on there to talk about LGBT as well. So I just wanted to kind of like let everybody know that.
Right. That's so exciting. Thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah, I'm excited to be a part of that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so Kinkini did let us know this morning. We're super excited to have you. I will be getting in contact with you super shortly with a lot of paperwork for CEUs, and we're going to be adding you on here and everywhere where your name goes shortly.
Yeah, and I did talk to Robert too already to kind of like strategize together as well.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
That's great. Yeah, you're an awesome addition to that group. We're really thrilled about that. That was a happy piece of news I saw this morning of your conversation with Kinkini. So that'll be great. We'll have you on the website shortly. And as Miriam said, yeah, you do have some paperwork to do, since every change we make at this point is sort of a reams of paperwork to make sure we get those continuing ed credits where they wanted to be. One thing I did want to mention also about the final program when you're looking at it, Sarah chatted out the link, so you can also pull that up on your own screens, is that this year you'll notice is the first year, if you've been coming to the NBCC for some years, we used to have a policy of not using any kind of credentials. But we are shifting that in part because of the continuing ed credits, and that they need to be in the program, and it needs to be also on the online version of the program. So you'll see people's credentials that they have listed for us listed here as well. And we are making a point to really like to lift that up. In the very top, we made a comment about it, that we really respect all folks' lived experience, as well as educational experience, academic experience, community experience. We want to make sure that this environment at USPC still feels as inclusive as we've been striving to make it feel, and then even more. So we want to make sure that no one sees letters and then feels like, oh, this is just another one of the usual thing, because we very much don't want it to feel that way. So we're hopeful that you all will know that, and then if any questions arise, you can also help make sure that folks feel very welcomed and are encouraged and feel empowered to speak and participate, whether or not they have letters after their name or not. So just wanted to lift that up to everyone. I forget where we are in the thing. Am I going next, or is Sarah going to talk about side event? I think it's game night, right? Game night.
Yeah. So about a couple meetings ago, I believe. I was on the call and asked for some help brainstorming different ideas for the evening event to replace and like build on sort of the precedent from having open mic night. And thank you to everyone who helped just sort of like generate some different ideas and different feelings and vibes that we wanted to carry with that. So the NBCC team went back and we talked about kind of all the ideas that had come up and different sort of logisticy things with the space and the hotel and the time and sort of feedback that we'd gotten from past attendees about different events that they would like. And I think what we're gonna, or not I think, what we will be going with is using the time to do, I haven't come up with a great name yet, but the concept is really to do sort of a speed networking, but focusing less on but focusing on sort of community building and connection between attendees. But doing it kind of in like a fun sort of gamey, fast-ish way, but making sure that we leave space for kind of intentional and good connection. So the way that I'm visualizing it is to sort of have kind of the trappings of speed dating. So, two people talking for a brief period of time, but to make the prompt sort of things about their role in what is your role in your community, or how do you support breastfeeding families, or, who supports you as you support breastfeeding families, to sort of dig a little deeper with the questions, so that it's not sort of on a surface level in the brief time. So hopefully, and I'm very excited to plan a new event and change up what we did in the past.
Thank you, Sarah. Didn't we also talk a little bit about the idea of having some fun questions? I mean, not that
Yeah.
work is not fun, but also like some, kind of personal stuff, so that folks feel, that they might get to know about someone's family or what happened to them. You had some exciting prompts, I think we talked about.
Yeah, there will also be, it won't just be sort of deep emotional things. Also, there will also be some like fun, like sort of biography questions, which I think will be really great. And I think what I really like about the event and what really sort of cemented it for me was that the conference is presentations at the conference are a lot of time of sitting in an audience and listening to one or two people speak at a time, and then maybe asking a question, and then maybe having to find them afterward to like connect one-on-one. And so what I really liked about this idea was taking that kind of away and turning it into a place where a lot of voices are all speaking in the room, and people can be sort of a little bit more organically talking with each other. So it's a little less of a sitting quietly and listening, and a little more active and engaging, and a little more community building with our attendees. So that is the goal. Hopefully, I think that it'll be a really fun thing to pull off for them and all of you.
That's awesome. Thank you, Sarah. Does anyone have any questions about the, we're going to have to think of a name, y'all, so maybe we should even think about that, because speed dating isn't quite the name, but it's something like that. Speed networking night. I don't know. We haven't gotten there, but we could get there if anyone has any great ideas or questions.
I love the idea. I'm awful at naming things, though, so I'm not the person to give any ideas.
I've got a date.
Well, we will happily play with some names, but yeah, I'm glad you're feeling receptive towards the idea. I love it too. I think it's going to be nice to get to talk with folks one-on-one and just meet each other. You learn so much more in 2 minutes you know, about a person, and you make relationship, and it's just, I don't know, I think that's going to be great. I know, you know, as someone who like is helping with registration or something like that, like, you know, not everyone gets to, I get to know, you know, registration, but not necessarily the person, and they don't get to know me. So I think it's nice for us all to be able to step outside of our roles and take our hats off and, you know, change them around, turn them a different direction. So if there aren't any other questions about the networking event, I can start talking a little bit about some of our updates. Take a pause. I also want to just mention, I see Emily Taylor's name has popped up. Welcome, Emily.
Thank you. So glad I could be here.
Happy you're here. So in the realm of updates, so conference registration is going well. We have about 245 people registered. 220 something of those are fully kind of in the fold, and another 20 are kind of, you know, working through the process. So almost 250 people already, and we have still 6 weeks to go. So that's, you know, we're almost halfway into when we opened registration. So I don't know that we're going to get another 250 people. That would feel like a lot, but we may well have, you know, another 100 plus. So that's pretty exciting. And, you know, we do want folks to still be registering and coming, participating in all of the events that they're eligible to come to, whether it is Advocacy Day, membership meeting if they're part of a member organization, and obviously the conference. We did send out a promotional email about NBCC today. So if you didn't get it, and nor did your spam email box get it, you can feel free to reach out to us. We are still, you know, we're sometimes noticing they'll go to a spam box, or if folks don't have either our office email for the US breastfeeding or our conference email, US breastfeeding, as sort of friendly, then they may end up in a spam folder. But we did send one out this morning. Also, you know, letting folks know that one of our hotel nights is actually filled up. And because it's June, we grew a little bit, but we couldn't grow beyond, they didn't have space for us. And so we actually have on our website, we have a link to a new booking service. So it's kind of like an aggregator for hotels, only what this one does is it helps us track who and how many folks are using it. So for example, if everybody were to say go and get an Airbnb, which they're welcome to do, of course, I won't know how many folks are really outside of the fold, because it's a little, it's an imprecise world, right? I can see how many people are registered at the hotel plus a guest, you know, if there's several people in the room, but it's nice to also have this backup method so we know for the future. So there is a link now on our website that is an aggregator, and when we have run our searches, we kept it pretty narrow, so it's really much Bethesda and like a couple miles out. The rates are coming in fairly similar. It's around $200 a night, which is what some of our nights cost. Yes, some of our original nights are, you know, we're at 129, I think, but you know, we are filled up, so that's where we are. So just to let folks know, if people feel, you know, nervous about that or anything, we do have this. It's a useful tool. It works great. The rates are pretty comparable. We also referenced in the email, as well as what we have on our information, that we have the Facebook group. So for folks who have perhaps a bed in their room, they can also say, hey, I have an extra space in my room. My person isn't coming after all. Does anyone want to come? So that is all still happening. Sarah, yeah, hold on that. It should be the one from the link I just sent. I'm not sure if there's something happening there. So we can talk about that. So yeah, so just to let everyone know, that's the status with the hotel and registration. Let's see, we have a couple other items on this agenda. So on-site roles. So one thing that's going to be happening through the next couple of weeks, I think that within this next week or so, everyone will get an invitation to participate in the doodle poll soliciting for on-site roles. Typically those involve things like being a a moderator in a breakout panel. And so being able to, introduce the speakers, make sure we have our community norms honored. We also are talking about having and planning to have 2 people per room so that there's one person available for, ooh, we're having a tech problem, could you run out of the room? Then the main moderator can still be there. Or, oh, we need a little help with something, could you get someone or whatever. So there'll be 2 people per room. But signing up for those is one of our opportunities. Oftentimes we don't, we stuff bags. The board has been enjoying, I think, I dare to say, stuffing bags with the staff team. So we have that as a role that we will do together, but we may also, if folks are there and kind of wandering around on the night, on Thursday night, then we might, you might see us, and we would love to have support. Really what we love and appreciate is just having, a check-in and a hello. And, it's always, I mean, honestly, for those of you that know Grace, like when she comes by and says hello to you, it's like a ray of sunshine anyway. And so like all of you have this beautiful sunshine if you come and say hello and like say hello and check in. And like sometimes we might need a little something or a help or an advice or a hug or who knows. So just to be available. What is harder for us is if we're sort of scattered about and we can never find, can't find folks. And then we're like, oh, we have this great team. We want to make sure we can find folks and everyone feels, engaged and appreciated as we appreciate all of your help so much. So you'll see a doodle for the official stuff, but like obviously it's probably not going to say hugs on it, but now you know the insider track. So that's going to be coming out soon. Does anyone have any questions? The onsite roles is still getting put together, so I don't have too many more specifics than that, but are there any questions yet at this point? All right, I'll keep going. So the next thing is happening is childcare. We're continuing our tradition of our second year of offering childcare at NBCC. It's for free for folks who are taking advantage of it. One thing, Tamika, we will probably reach out to you if Kinkini hasn't already to see if you can help us for finding some people who are willing to work for paid positions as childcare workers. For the childcare room. So we would want folks to be available, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They could be available all days. They could be available one day. If they have a child at home that they need to bring with them, that's fine. If they have too many children, it might not work, just because this year we are looking at having quite a decent number of kids, so we want to make sure our workers are able to manage, and we will have, of course, a couple per shift, if you will. We're looking, thank you so much, Tamika. We're looking at this having this be really a paid position. So it's not like come for a day, go to the conference for a day kind of thing. Because that didn't really work very well last time. We want to make it, very clearly defined. And I did just want to also mention that because of, keeping good care of all of our children on site, the people will be going through a background check process that Danae will be leading. So I want to make sure, everybody knows that and they're comfortable with that as a person coming in to take care of and help take care of our kids. So it makes sense, but it's, it is a little bit of a chore, unfortunately. Oh, awesome. You have some people in mind. Yeah, that would be great. I would appreciate that very much. And we will also send out, I think Kinkini was working on a note about it, but I can ask her if she wants me to pen that. I can send that off as well. And thank you in advance for names of folks who might be interested locally, obviously, lovely people. So here's a couple of other things. One is a fun thing, and you may have also, if you're getting our emails, so that's the key. And if you don't get the weekly wire, it might be that you haven't signed up in there in that world or in the world of advocacy. So we can put, Sarah, could you chat out a link so that folks could, if they're not, signed up for getting our messages, they know how to do that. One of our communications recently, and you might have seen it on Facebook as well, is that we have a new line of products that we have just released. T-shirts, mugs, sweatshirts, unisex styles, ladies styles. We have maternity tank tops. Just a really nice array of products in our Cafe Press store. And the theme on it, Cheryl devised, which we are all in love with, is support changes everything. There's a mother baby image and it has a lovely flowery wreath around it on it. And that is something we're doing for Parents Month, which is, you know, Mother's Day, Father's Day, but through the duration of this time between now and after the conference, frankly. And so there's a line of products there, and they go through the Cafe Press store. Actually, we should probably chat that link out as well. So if you haven't seen it yet, take a look. They're pretty lovely. Mine arrived in the mail way faster than I thought. I'm wearing a sweatshirt right now, and they're totally nice quality, and we have a lot of colors, and it's just super fun, and it's a fundraiser for USBC. So, oh yeah, you can see it on screen. I forgot to mention the tote bags. Yes, we had a baby onesie at one point, just saying, but it got discontinued. I don't know. So we're gonna look and see if we can find another one in here. So will products be available for the purchase is a really good question. The answer is specifically not exactly. So Tamika, we are not going to be investing in selling products at the conference for two reasons. One is because then if what doesn't sell, we have to store, and so it ends up costing money. But the other reason is that if we are selling products in a state, we have to register within that state to sell things. And it's a whole world of hurt that we don't want to get involved with. But here's where the big but comes in. But we are going to have some of these styles. So there will be a couple, you know, one or two that say, look just like this, support changes everything. We also are going to be unveiling another style at the conference, and that's going to be as a giveaway for folks who become monthly donors to USBC. And I think we're setting the level at $10 a month. So if it was like $120 contribution, yeah, then folks will get as a thank you gift, here is a t-shirt. And we're making another design that says, it's on like imagining a black t-shirt. It says big white letters support, and then underneath it says families, babies, and breastfeeding. So it is, it's super lovely, and there's like a little, what we call the mother baby logo, and it's super lovely. But those are kind of under wraps as you know, kind of a giveaway with this donation plan. So that's so there will be the ability to do that. So actually, as I was saying, you know, people could choose one or the other if we make a run of this t-shirt or that one. But we haven't got through the final details of how that's going to be. Lovely's just ordered a shirt. Oh, Stephanie, that's awesome. Yeah, so they're pretty great. So we wanted to share that, and you all can explore as well. And hopefully you'll explore and share, like on Facebook, share on Facebook, because when you get your picture, you can take a little selfie. Put that up. That's something we're pretty excited about for our Parents Month campaign. And then I wanted to make sure we left some time for any questions folks might have regarding their travel, their prep. You know, make sure that everyone in this group has completed their registration. Do you have any questions? Things like that. I'm also happy if not, but just want to make the space. Everyone's shopping. That's great. I know. I spent quite well as one of the people who are choosing those. It was really hard to decide on only buying like one t-shirt and one sweatshirt. I was like, but yeah, that happened. Well, we can go to the next slide, and if you think of any questions, you know, you can let us know.
Camille, I just had one, just to follow up about the hotel. So that link that you follow, is there any like lower rates for the hotels that are around?
So it is not, it's not a lower rate. It is kind of what's available in the market, but it uses all the aggregators that offer like hotels.com and booking.com. So in my searching on those sites as well, it's coming up with the best available. So when you're kind of in the mode of where we are, it's not a situation where we can go in and negotiate a new group rate, because they only really, a lot of the properties have like 5 rooms or 6 rooms. So it's not something that's practical to do that with.
Yikes. I know that's been like, you've probably been pulling your hair out about it, but I know that there's some speakers sent in the abstracts and we accepted them, that are trying to find hotels, and there's nothing available that's under like $400 or $500. I think that she did look at Airbnb and it is cheaper, but she was kind of like complaining too that it's not equitable to have to pay $400 or $500 a night for a hotel
Oh, of
room.
course not. No, and none of these bills are coming up. They are not
good.
$400. They're coming up, like I said, $199, $169,
Okay.
$165. So they're very on par with our rates that we had.
Okay.
And it is unfortunately a situation where, if the people that booked early or were able to reserve the room early, were in our block. But when we're kind of a little bit bigger and things are happening and people are bringing other people, like their kids or whoever, so it's like not as much bunking up. There's just some different things happening that we're seeing this year. And so unfortunately, it means that we had to get a little bit broader. But yeah, this link, at least, like I said, it keeps it in the fold, and the rates are not $400 a night. I mean, $165 and $199 is what I saw a few of when I searched on Friday. So Sarah's going to chat out the link to that right now. But yeah.
Okay.
So it's not as perfect as being in the hotel with us at the group rate. By no means would I think it is, and we're not psyched about that. But it's also it's managed, and it's not super uncommon that you might have to be out when you're kind of relatively close. So here's the link, and it is on the website as well and in the email.
Good.
Yeah, and they'll see our logo on it. Like it's an official thing that uses these systems. So it's it doesn't feel quite as stressful as like, oh my gosh, now I have to look at Trivago, or what am I gonna, it can be, there's so many choices out there these days, right? So this one helps pull in some of the most local and solid options.
Good. Well, thank you so much for your work on that. I know that it's been kind of crazy, so I just wanted to say thank you for that.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm sleeping better now that this exists. For that minute when it was like just the thing, I was like, okay. Yeah, so. And again, encouraging folks to use the Facebook event page is something that is, for people who are active users of Facebook, it's great just to get our attendees to use it as well. We do mention it in the confirmation email that we send out when people register, but there's a lot of information in there, so I feel like sometimes it gets lost. But we'll be putting also more things up there as well, just to make it seem a little more lively. So hopefully that'll inspire more engagement. I think we're good, Miriam. NBCC register. Okay, yeah, next steps. Promote the NBCC. I think we said that. Looking out for the email with more information about that sign up for on the Sign Up Genius. You guys know about shopping. Yes, I don't know if I can say any more about that without it being shameful. Looking ahead for our planning calendar, as we have 6 weeks from the conference. Do you want to talk through this, or would you rather I do, Miriam? Happy to step back.
Sure, I can do it. So yeah, we're, like you mentioned, super close to the conference. We have a little over a month. A couple of things to look forward to are the training days. One of the trainings is for facilitation. We're going to do that towards the end of May, probably beginning of June, as well as the Advocacy Day training webinar. So if you are registered for advocacy and you want to be a part of the training webinar, please sign up for that and promote that as well. And then in June, that is the month of the conference, and we have one more meeting before the conference, the first Monday of June. And so feel free to come with last minute questions, any kind of prep details that you are wondering about, and we hope to see you all there.
Awesome. Thank you, Miriam. Thanks everyone for being here today.
I'm sorry, I have one question. Last minute question. This is Grace. You mentioned that there is a letter of confirmation of registration.
Usually when you register, on the
Right.
date that you went, right after you register, usually happens within 5 minutes or so, you'll get an email confirmation. And some
Right.
folks, it goes right into their spam box, so they never see it. And then it's hard to
Okay.
remember when they registered. So if you have a spam box that you can access, if you can scroll through it, I believe it comes from, it comes from conference, right, Sarah? I think we send them from conference at usbreastfeeding.org.
Yeah, I went back in time. I went back to the day that I registered. I didn't see any email. Anyway, I went on the website to double check that I've been registered.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to look for you right now as well. And then we'll know. You are here.
Yes.
I will resend the confirmation to you. It's going to your sfdph.org email.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, great. So then if there's no more questions, last minute questions are welcome. And if there isn't any, we can move to reflections and maybe wrap up a little bit early today. Did anybody want to start with their reflection for today?
I can. This is Stephanie. I'm just feeling very excited for this year. It feels like in the last month, everything's really come together. And just looking at that program, it looks amazing. And I'm just excited to be there.
It's me again. This is Grace. I'm so excited to hear that there is going to be inclusive care on breastfeeding, and that's really great.
Mm-hmm.
This is Tiana. I just wanted to just piggyback off of everyone else's, just the excitement. It is truly coming together. You all are doing amazing and wonderful work, and I'm just honored to be listening and as a part of it. And I look forward to seeing you all in a month. I can't believe it's already almost here. And the programming and everything is just looking like it's going to be a really wonderful event. So I'm looking forward to it.
Hey everybody, this is Emily. Sorry I couldn't be here for the whole time, but great to hear the updates that I did hear, and just want to say thank you so much from the board for all of the work that you're doing as volunteers, and to the staff. We are so impressed to see all of the creativity. You guys have always worked really hard and you've always been really creative, but it seems like this year is just like a whole new level of inspiration, creativity, and diligence is going into this. So we see the hard work that you're doing, and we're so grateful and excited.
Oh, by the way, when I talked to Kinkini yesterday, she said one of the things that we might want to talk about too is for our Identity Caucus facilitation. If anybody wants to facilitate any of those, just to kind of put those feelers out there and ask if any of our CPC members would like to do that, so that we can maybe have a list of people to do that. I almost forgot to.
Yeah, I think that'll be a good thing to reach out to either maybe to you or to Kinkini, or because I think she also had some folks in mind she had mentioned, but I guess she also, I don't know, maybe she hasn't had those conversations. So it's good to hear that that you guys talked about that.
Yeah.
Great.
This is Emily. I'm happy to help wherever needed, and I think enough of the staff knows me to have a decent sense of what's appropriate for me in my areas of interest and ability, and also where I'll be overlapping with other board responsibilities. But where there are gaps, I'd prefer to leave first for other volunteers to get the opportunity, and then I'm here if needed.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you, Emily. One other thing I just remembered, this is Camille, is this is doesn't fall into our reflection questions, but we do still have some table spaces for exhibitors. So this is one of our primary, well, if not the only unrestricted money that we have to be able to support a lot of folks' participation in the conference. And the fact that we, are flying, I think I have 80 something people or 90 people on our travel agent list. Like, that's a lot of people. So, certainly some of our grant monies, but also we need to have those unrestricted funds. And so we have exhibit spaces available. And right now, I think only 9 of our tables have been taken. So some of our, there's certainly time. What we're really hoping for is some of our large corporate partners will come through. Oftentimes they do sort of at the last minute, but any of those that you might think of, or also, and all are welcome. We have different tiered rates, but again, we have really limited space. So we don't have a lot of tables to be able to offer. We're almost halfway full. I think we have 20, space for only 20 this year. And part of that is also because of our continuing ed credits. We can't have tables sort of everywhere cram jam full because it can't have that feeling. So we're balancing a lot of different interests there, but doing our best with that. So we also have ad opportunities for folks that aren't going to be there in person. People sometimes really think like that exhibiting is the only thing, but I would hazard to say that sometimes you can get a lot more, maybe even more bang for the buck by, doing an ad in the program or putting an item in the attendee bags or sponsoring something, rather than also needing to spend resources on having someone be there in person if they weren't already going to be. Obviously, if they're going to be there, that's great. Then yes, is also a consideration. So if there's any questions about that, feel free to email me about exhibits or other marketing opportunities.
Thank you, Camille.
Thanks, Grace. Well, I know everyone that I know would be happy with 15 minutes. You all, thank you so much for being here with us today. I wish you a great afternoon, and I'm really excited to see you all in person next month.
Thank you, Camille. I'm always grateful to be able to participate.
It's such a treat.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
day. Thank you. Good day, everyone.
Bye,
See you next month.
Emily.
Yes.
Have a great day, everyone.